Very good morning, all the students of 8th standard. We are learning the first lesson of Civics Introductions to the Parliamentary Systems. In this first lessons, we have studied the initial background. First one point will say that parliamentary system of the government, that is on page number 68. See, the parliamentary system of the government developed primarily in England. If we see that parliamentary system of develop means government, it's developed into the England. The origin of the parliamentary system is in England. English constitutions is in unwritten format. That, as you know, that English is, constitution, it is not into the written format, it is in unwritten format. The governance carried out according to the with the traditions and the customs and the conventions. The British Parliament is also an institution has evolved over a period of time. This already I told you on that day. The parliament system of the government having its root in the parliament. The government has its own root into the parliament. What if the government is there? That governments, all the roots are in the parliament. So parliament is considered as a contributions to the England here. Next, if you see, India has adopted these parliamentary systems, and same type of parliamentary system our country also adopted. We can see some broad similarities in the parliamentary system of England. So broad similarity we can see in Indian government also, or Indian parliament, or into the British parliament also there. But when looked at an institutional level, Indian parliament system is different from its content. That in its content, if you see the comparison of British parliament and England parliament, India's parliament, little bit different is there between the British parliament and the Indian parliament in their content, in their matter subject. Little bit differences are there. Let us understand the characteristic of the Indian parliamentary system of government in India. What kind of differences are there, or what kind of characteristics is there in the Indian parliamentary system? The parliamentary system is a system of governance. If you see the parliamentary system, it is a system of governance, it is a system of administration. The legislature of the central government is known as a parliament. Legislatures of the central government bodies are known as legislature of the central government body is known as a parliament. The members, MP we can call the member of parliament, or in the another word, Hindi word sansad word, they use that. So the legislature of the parliament, what is that? Legislature of the central parliament is known as a central government is known as a parliament. The Indian parliament is composed of president, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. If you see the India's parliament, so India's parliament, it is made up of by or combined by the president, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. These are three major components of our parliament. Member of the Lok Sabhas are directly elected by the people. The member of the Lok Sabhas, those who are appointed on a Lok Sabha, all these members, they are directly elected by the common people. The number of the members in the house is fixed. That the number of the member of the Lok Sabhas in the house, it is fixed. 543 members are there. Next point is that elections to the Lok Sabha are held at regular interval. Election is there of the our Lok Sabha, it is held at regular interval, means it is held after each and every 5 years. All political parties, they contest the election. That the party which gets a majority of vote in the parliament, or in the means in the Lok Sabhas, that party can be set up, establish their own government. They can form their government. That so to set up, to form your government, you should be in a majority. You should be in majority in the parliament, means at least more than 273 members, 273 candidates from your side should be there. They should be support to you. Then you can be claimed to form your own government. Sometime when no party gets the majority of votes in the parliament, that at that time, what we can say, there was a combinations, alliance is there. Two or three parties, they come together and they claim to form their government, that we can call as a coalitions government. That coalitions government. That when the one single party gets majority in the parliament, that and at the time, or in these circumstances, if two or three parties came together and they claim to form the governments by combinations, if they complete the majority of the figures, and if they are ready, and if they claim, then to that government we can call it a coalitions government. For example, we can see the government of the Maharashtra present time. In this Maharashtra state government, the Shiv Sena is there, Rashtrapati Congress and Congress. Three parties they came together. Alliance of the three parties there. In this way, candidate directly elected by the peoples became the member of the legislatures, and the party in the majority gets chance to form the government. So in this way, those candidates, those who own the elections, those who elected by the direct, those who directly elected by the common people, and those who are in majority in the Lok Sabha, that party can form the government. That the leader of the majority of the the leader of the majority party became the prime minister. That one who is a leader of the majority party, that a leader can become the prime minister. That, and he or she select the candidate for the ministerial positions among his or herself. That means once you appoint your minister, once you appoint your prime ministers, then he or she can choose another ministerial candidates from their party, those who own election, those who have been those who have been elected, or those who have been will that completed completing the election process. That the prime ministers and the council of the ministers chosen by the prime ministers together form the executive in the parliamentary system. That prime minister is there, elected ministers are there, different ministerial posts are there. That persons, that candidates together make an executive in the parliamentary system. That executive body in the parliamentary system, the executive body has a dual responsibility. So this executive body has a double responsibility. As an executive, they have an important laws implement, they have to implement the laws. They are executive body member, they have to implement the laws. As they are a member of the legislatures, they also have to fulfill the responsibility of the legislatures. They are the member of legislature, they are the member of the parliament, they have to fulfill the responsibility as the member of the parliament. So the prime ministers and the council of ministers is responsible in the legislature for all their actions and the policies. Prime ministers and other ministers, they are the responsible for the parliament, for their action, for their work. It means that the council of ministers has to work with the legislature. You can say that council of ministers, they have to work with the legislature, they have to work with the parliament there. It is for this reason that parliamentary system is known as the responsive system of government. So that way only we can call as a parliamentary, to this parliamentary system of government we can call as a responsible system of government. Another distinct characteristic or the feature of the parliamentary system of government is a collective responsibility. Another one feature, another important characteristic, that is the collective responsibility. All the ministers, they are combined together, they support to help to each other. Decisions taken by the minister or the department is considered by the decision taken by of government. Whatever the decision is taken by the department or the ministers, that decision is considered as a decision of a government. Otherwise you can say that education minister decision, I don't know, like prime minister cannot say that. The entire council of ministers is responsible for the decision. All the ministers, they are the responsible for the decision. In the next two chapter that we will see the examples how the principle of collective responsibility is brought into the practice. In the next chapter we will see that how the collective responsibility they will bring in the practice, that we can see in the next chapter. That so before that, if you see here, then in the parliamentary system, the executive is depend upon the confidence of the legislature in them. They can be depend on the confidence, up to how many days they have that confidence majority in the Lok Sabha or in the parliament, that much they can enjoy their power. This means that council of ministers remain in the power till they can enjoy the support of the confidence of the legislature. Up to how many days they have the support of the legislature, they have the support, they have majority in the parliament in the Lok Sabha, till at that time they can enjoy their power. That if the legislature feel that the executive body is not in the confidence, or they are not in a majority in the Lok Sabha, that time they will be submitted, opposite party submit the no confidence against motion against the ruling party, and at that time the ruling party had to be prove their majority, and if they fail to prove their majority, then they have to resign in the parliament. Remaining part we'll see afterward. Thank you.